The Hà Giang Loop, a route in the northeastern region of Vietnam, globally renowned for its breathtaking views and dangerous roads. But is it all that good? A 4-day tour will cost you anywhere from 4 million to 6 million dong, depending on whether you're driving your motorbike or not. And if you want to ride the loop without a tour company, but don't have an international driving licence, well, you'll be fined between 2 million and 8 million dong. For tourists and people without an international driving licence, what should you do? Is there somewhere else you could go? Somewhere cheaper and without police fines? Somewhere you won't be amongst a herd of tourists? And somewhere you can have your own adventure? Well, I was about to find out. On the 1st of April, I packed my bags and left the flat at 11 AM. I took out some cash, topped up the tank, and left the city of Hanoi. My route would take me northeast through the city of Yên Bái and onto the Lào Cai province, where the loop would begin. The first stop would be the popular tourist destination of Sapa. From there, the goal was to reach the highest point in all of Indochina, before getting back on the road and heading north to the small village of Muang Hum. Another detour would see the beauty of Ong Chua Waterfall. I'd then creep up to the Chinese border, stopping at the mountain village of Iti, before making the loop back round to Lào Cai and heading home. This is my bike, 124cc, cost me 6.5 million dong. She's a bit of a janky girl. I actually rented this bike before I bought it, and I paid 500,000 dong for 1 week. So I'm going to immediately add that to the cost straight away. That's 500,000 Vietnam dong gone from the budget. So we have about 3.5 million dong left. The main goal right now is to get to Sapa by tomorrow evening, where I'll be meeting my friend Matt, who's cycling from Ho Chi Minh City to Manchester, UK. You can see his Instagram right here. We're meeting up and we're going to walk up Mount Fansi Pan. With a height of 3,143 metres, it's the highest point in all of Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia. Nothing can stop the beautiful game. I feel like I could be being a little bit more adventurous in my route, but I've got to meet my friend and I'm in a bit of a rush, so I'm not doing too many small traps and detours. I'm going to save that for later in the trip. Just got to get to Lào Cai. The roads from Hanoi to Lào Cai form a direct route for goods to be transported between southern China and Vietnam. So, although they may not be the busiest, a 34-ton lorry coming head-on in the opposite direction is enough to keep you on your toes. They'll just pull out from behind. Honestly, you'll probably have about maximum 3 feet in the bike lane on the side if you're not looking or if you're not ready for it. It's just the end of you. Like, you're gone. If you've never driven a motorbike before, don't go on these roads. But yeah, sun's shining. It's a beautiful evening. Okay, old school. Don't mind it. Got a couple of pillows there with a lovely phrase, happy life more. Little Serat down there, see if I get peckish in the night. Fucking hell. What else have we got in here? Oh man, that is perfect for looking at. So they said, một đêm, 180, and I asked if I could have it one night for 150,000 instead, and bang, got it. So, £5 one night. It's okay, it's not amazing, it's alright. Day 2 now. Drove 150 kilometres to get to this waterfall, which is called Tatooine. There's only really one thing to do when it's this quiet and nice and warm. Curious to see what the waterfall above the one that I swam in looks like. Can I get home? In Vietnam, there's many things to eat. They have a very distinct culture of food. I think a lot of tourists, when they come here, they either don't like the food or they love it, but they eat a lot of meat. One of which is dog. And I thought, after a swim and a bit of a climb, what better to eat than a bit of dog? No, I'm going to set the record straight. I've eaten dog already, but I want to see what this small town has to offer, because these small towns, especially in the past, they will have had to rely on this kind of meat to be able to survive. You know, they don't have the luxury of having cows and pigs and stuff like that. So maybe here it's going to taste even nicer. I smell a little bit of dog. Here we go. Some cá. And there it is. Đôi chó. Chim mua em giúp không? It basically just tastes like quite bitter, a bit more dry and a bit of a deeper flavour. Maybe I'm detached, maybe I'm awful, but it's normal for me now. After finishing with the dog, I pushed on into the night towards Lào Cai. Tensions ran high on these dangerous roads without lights. And as I entered Lào Cai, I was greeted with another tension. So that is the Chinese border. I'm going to put the phone away and try and make a run for it. I'll let you know how it goes. With some spare time before meeting my friend Matt in Sapa the same evening, I found a quiet spot to practice some Vietnamese.
Now, Vietnam is still emerging economically, but it's growing rapidly now. And when it comes to the economics of the bum, they're miles ahead.
But where some problems were being solved, others were emerging. Boys and girls, it's finally happened. For the first time since coming down, my arse is on another planet. I'm stuck in Lào Cai, just shitting myself. 35 kilometres to Sapa, where I know it sounds impossible. I need to stop every 2 kilometres to just fucking crap myself on the side of the road. Fuck. Despite my doubts, I clenched and pushed on, distracting myself the only way I know how.
entered Sapa, I covered up to hide my pale skin from the police. Despite what I ate the day before, I made a new friend. And then Matt arrived. Immediately, we started on a mission to recreate a photo of his mum 30 years before in Sapa.
Let's see your face.
As the night drew in, we made our way to a small town outside the centre of Sapa to find ourselves a cheap tour guide for the ascent tomorrow. We arrived at a local shop with a mysterious selection of goods for sale and also a sturgeon farm before these 8 young men rolled out of a room no bigger than 5 metres squared. They started to help us find a tour guide. But it was one step forward, one step backwards.
I'm surprised how efficient it is.
I spent the next 4 days equally between the bed and the toilet. This meant that mine and Matt's fancy pan dream was over. We were quoted 2.3 million Vietnamese dong to hire a tour guide for 1 day by those gentlemen. Because it was my intention to walk the mountain, although it never happened and I never had to pay, I will be including my share in the total spent. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Green Sapa Hostel and Jitam for taking care of me until I'd recovered. After rotting away for 4 days, I had a lot of ground to make up. It was time to grow a pair, lose the main roads, and get stuck into the grit of the trip.
My clothes are just soaked now. I'm just rolling down the hill. There's 30 kilometres to the next town. But this road is a lot more treacherous than any road that I've been on so far. Many dogs barking at me. I had to switch my engine on and rapid because one of the dogs started chasing me. But this is the remoteness that I've been looking for. You don't know what's coming around the corner. This is real mountain people in Vietnam. No Sapa tourism. Taking one road off and it's all changed. All changed.
Just pulled over to put my waterproof on what seemed like a little inlet on the road. I placed the park and I think I might have found one of the world's most remote football pitches.
If you're thinking this video has a lot of landscapes and not a lot of interactions with local people, and there's a reason for that. I don't think it's okay for me to put my phone in a local's face for the benefit of my own video. Coming from another country and making a video about another country's culture and landscape is already a privilege to be able to do. When I put my phone in someone's face, not only do I show that I have an ulterior motive in the conversation to exploit it for YouTube, but I also lose the sincerity of the interaction. I think if you want to know what it's like to interact with the people, then you're going to have to come here yourself. The Vietnamese people are so welcoming, and I don't feel like it's right to put a phone in their face for my own YouTube video.
50 kilometres north of Sapa, Muang Hum is a small riverside town that is home to 5 main ethnic groups and an active hill tribe market, a place known for the most magnificent valley of the Lào Cai province. Because of its remoteness, it is almost untouched by tourism.
So happy to be back on the road today. This is the amount that I've spent so far. I'm going to try and be as cost efficient as possible from here on, I think. I want to have enough fuel. I want to have a good night's sleep, but I'm going to try to cut a little bit of cash where I can. The roads look like they're getting worse and worse as we get more and more remote. No main roads, bad roads, people looking at me like, what the hell am I doing here? It's great. At this Nyangi, the couple who own it told them I was a bit ill and I'd eaten already, but they insisted I had one bowl of rice and just kept feeding me more and more and more, and I had to say, no, I need a shower. Hospitality is like nowhere else. So, but yeah, Vietnam.
The next morning, I left Muang Hum early to the sight of kids learning the local trade. The roads that left Muang Hum would soon turn into dirt trails, which would soon turn into mud. And for my automatic bike, this was a problem.
It's just fascinating to see how a tiny village in the middle of absolutely nowhere in Vietnam, just to see how it functions. The road to this place is barely a road. It was more of a fucking quagmire. The fact that people are coming in and out on that road every day, it's just insane. Just when you think you're in the middle of nowhere, you're going to see someone working on a hill somewhere.
And this is where the roads on the map went dark.
The bike couldn't hack it anymore, so I've had to go on foot now. And I think I've got about 2 miles to the waterfall. There's starting to be houses up here and signposts, like we're returning back into some sort of society. I feel like old Ben Kenobi walking on Tatooine.
Hello there.
How the fuck did that get up there? Starting to get a bit worried that I'm going the wrong way, but I can't get any closer to it on the map. I'm just going to follow this route and see what happens in the nature of fun. It's not even a trail anymore, I'm just walking up a fucking jungle. So I've just come from in there, and I think I'm going to have to drop back down the hill into the other valley, and that's where the waterfall is. This rock here, it's going to save my life. There's this one Asia travel YouTuber. He makes great videos, you know, properly like mispronouncing all the destinations, like a proper European travel YouTuber should. But one thing that he does that cracks me up is he refers to himself in third person and then like does a little cackle.
And let's get back on the country roads and try and find the best possible place for sunset and a cold beer. Okay, that sounds like a good plan, Paddy.
So I'm gonna give it a go and see how it feels. Ooh, I think we'll get to the top of here, walk down, have a nice cold beer. I think that sounds like a great idea, Ben. Nah, can't do it. Can't fucking do it. that is bad news for a guy like me.
The path then led me between a stone wall and through a clearing, although there was one slight obstacle.
Fucking hell. I've inevitably reached the end of what was quite a thin and non-existent trail. I can see the waterfall. It's not anywhere near here, but I had a great time walking. Met the beast of Ongchua. And I think it's time to head back to the bike. There she is, at Ongchua. Nowhere near. My beautiful rock. So that's Tek Ongchua over there, and I was probably up here somewhere. What a melon!
After being bullied out of town by the local dogs, I was reunited with my motorbike.
Right, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm very happy to be leaving roads like that behind now.
Just to put it into perspective as to how bad some of these trails were, even some of the locals driving manual bikes would have difficulty driving up to their own homes. As I ascended towards China, now 6,500 feet above sea level, the fog thickened so much that water was accumulating on my eyelashes. I couldn't see 10 feet ahead of me. Things were getting a little bit mysterious.
Anyone who I drive past here is just the craziest big fog. They just see me and they go there like this. The shittest roads for so long and then boom, it's harbour. Tried to find a hostel for the night and I went into the first one and the guy said I need a permit to stay here overnight because we're near the border and he has to report it to the police if I stay here. So, no. I'm gonna find somewhere else.
And what an idiot I was. As I later found out, permits are required for foreigners to stay in ET overnight. I managed to find a lady who quickly ushered me into her house before anyone would see. I spent the night feeling like somewhat of a wanted fugitive. Waking up from a fever dream involving the police was my calling to get out of ET. And I'm glad I did, not only because of the police, but also because at the crack of dawn, I got to see just how breathtaking this village on top of the clouds really is. The final leg meant following the Chinese border all the way back down to Lào Cai.
This is the border. That's China over there. I thought I was going to wade through what was going to be a stream, go over to the other side, get a quick selfie. China was wicked, would love to do it again. Fucking come back, but it's fucking massive.
Soon I was back on familiar soil, back where my loop had started in Lào Cai. With a final 8-hour journey ahead of me back to Hanoi, I knuckled down. My journey was coming to an end, and as I passed through familiar places, I reflected on what an epic journey it had been. The truth is, even though the origin of my plan was formed from wanting to compare this journey to the experience of the Hà Giang loop tour, the two are simply incomparable. If you're looking for a 4-day experience of seeing unimaginable landscapes and sharing memories with other travelling people, go to Hà Giang. But if you're looking for something truly unexpected and authentic, a journey that will have you slipping around in mud, swinging naked on a vine, and lost for words at the sight of its scenery, then you should give this a try.